I'm not against making life look great and, enjoy it, but let's ask some more questions.
Hi guys, we're here in Sydney today with Anna Krjatian. I hope I'm saying it correctly. And basically we know that you've moved here, so from Georgia was where you were born. That's home for you. And then tell us a bit about just briefly you fled from, it was the USSR during the war.
Yeah, there was a civil war. The USSR collapsed, so it was just, mayhem.
And so do you also remember a bit about that time of your life? So what age were you when that happened?
I was 4 when literally my parents got on a plane and they're like, we're leaving, we're out of here. They got on the plane with my brother and I, which was at that time very unheard of because a lot of people were leaving without their kids. They were going to America, to Australia, to anywhere in the world that would accept them as asylum seekers to start over, and then they'll bring their kids over in like 10 years' time. My parents left with us, and I remember that. I remember bombs going off. I remember sitting on our bunk bed and just watching these bombs go boom, explosion. Yeah.
So little to see that explosion.
You watch what's going on in Syria now, and these kids are being blown apart. Luckily, we're all in one piece, but it was a very turbulent time in history. And my parents had enough. Conscription was compulsory. People were dropping in their neighbours. You couldn't really trust anyone. People were holding people up at gunpoint. I remember Mom telling a story how she and Dad were held up at gunpoint, and this is like Sydney. Imagine you're walking down in Sydney and just someone comes up to you and says, give me all your jewels, give me all your gold. It was like that. There was so much fear.
So frightening, but also just I think that having had that experience, also it can give you so much more of a perspective in terms of what to be grateful for.
Yes.
And coming here, did you feel like there was a big shift, when you moved? So it was New Zealand that you went to before Australia.
We sought asylum in Germany, and then we migrated to New Zealand, and then we migrated to Australia.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so did you go to school in Germany?
I started my first day. My dad came and picked me up. He's like, we were accepted in New Zealand, and then we got on the flight and we came to New Zealand.
Okay, so it was good. In New Zealand, was that school for you still, or how quickly was the move from New Zealand then to Sydney?
Yeah, we were there for 5 years, and I went to primary school there, and that's when my art education really was established.
Okay, wow. Okay, and so then coming to Sydney, was it easy, or was it still, there was challenges in moving to Sydney after having been through already so much?
I guess it was easier than moving from Germany to New Zealand, where I had to learn another new language. Russian is my mother tongue. We picked up German straight away because your kids are sponges.
Yeah.
And then in New Zealand, it was picking up the English language, and of course there was a cultural change, but when you're that young, you don't really feel it.
Okay.
When we came to Australia nearly 16 years ago now, there was another cultural change here, and because I came to an Armenian school here, which now no longer exists, but I went to an Armenian school here, and I was a new kid, and I was a foreigner, and all these kids at the school have been at the school since preschool, and I came in year 7. There was a bit of ooh, who's this?
Sure.
And
sometimes when those relations, the little friends have already formed their little friends, it's hard to change schools, and I think regardless of where your background, where you're coming in from, my good friend moves schools quite often, and I know that experience was difficult to constantly make new friends. And especially at that age when if you can be a bit timid going into a whole new environment. So then I guess now you've done so many amazing things. So I'll put it up because so Unmasked Depression is Anna's book, and basically you go through and talk about overcoming adversity in your own way.
Yes.
So the pain and suffering sort of associated with dealing with depression, and obviously as people experience stress and anxiety in different ways. Then I think it has as a way of shaping you. It can until you decide, like you've mentioned, becoming the person who no longer wants to be the victim, but as you said, being able to take control of your journey.
Yes.
So I guess we might just touch on a bit about how you went into becoming an author and like the journey that got you into that being your way to express yourself.
So I'm like, enough's enough. I'm moving out, I'm starting my own life. And I did that in February 2012. And when I did, all those years where I was just so strong for everyone around me, I just collapsed under my own weight and under the weight of all those circumstances that I just blocked for so many years. And the first time that an emotional overflow started, I had no idea what was going on, but I couldn't stop crying. And I grabbed a pen and paper, and I've been journaling since I was 7 years old.
We love it.
Yeah.
Also, it's so good to get your thoughts out of your head. I want to be so about it. It's like there's really something cathartic about it.
So good.
So if you don't like talking about it, definitely we encourage you to write.
100% write about it because I didn't intend to write a book. The book happened because I was processing my emotions every few months, and that's how it happens. So every chapter that you read, it's not really telling you what to do or how to do it. It's just my personal experience as I physically brought myself out of depression.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay. And so that life will always have different challenges that we have to overcome at some stages. And do you feel now that you feel a bit more confident in being able to overcome difficult things or difficult people that you're faced with?
100%. And every time that I come across a challenge, I run another part-time business and work together with my business partner, and we discuss situations and what's going on, and I'm reading books and meditating, and you are constantly learning, you're constantly evolving.
I think that you can always learn because the world is always constantly changing. There's so much going on. So to keep learning and keep sort of evolving as a person is so important. So be able to connect with other people and also for your own. Alrighty. So we might leave it there. I don't know. Do you want to say anything else? Is there anything that we haven't touched that you wanted to talk about today?
Own your experiences. Just own everything that happens in your life. If it's perceived as good or if it's perceived as bad, nothing is going to last anyway. The question I ask myself now when something happens is this going to matter in 10 years' time? And if the answer is no, just like that, push it aside, really get over it. Just let it go, let it go.
It's so frozen sun, but seriously,
let it go.
Listen to that song. Because as we spoke about, which was that other people you can't control what other people do or what they say. And many times, as we spoke just prior, was that you have to be able to understand that that's often a reflection of the person who may be saying negative things, and it's not a reflection of who you are. So I'm so glad that you just doing amazing things, and so happy to share your story. So that we help so many people. Thank you. Bye.
Congratulations to Anna, who is recently a finalist in the Women's Weekly Women of the Future Awards. Please support her by buying a copy of Unmasking Depression. You can find this at thebutterfly.com.au. Thanks. See you next time.
You tasted the pain of losing someone, broken chains, don't even